You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about the Indiana Fever. Next week, April the 3rd, there will be an expansion draft. And many people are wondering, how is that going to shape out? There's a way you can core players. You figure Kelsey Mitchell's probably one of those. Lexi Hull, I would guess, would be one of those. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, check. And most people believe Michaela Timpson due to the contract. And then, of course, you've got other players that you're going to wonder about, like Sophie Cunningham, like Chloe Bibby, which we will get to in a minute because, interestingly enough, she has shown up now on a expansion draft big board. I didn't know those existed, but we've got an expansion draft big board, and Chloe Bibby is on it. Now, you may be like, well, there will be better players than Chloe Bibby available. That's true. But we got to remember there's two teams, and they still have to adhere to the salary cap too. So they can't put a bunch of $700,000 players on one team. They got the same restrictions from a salary cap standpoint as everybody else. So that will limit the players that they're able to take. Each of them will be able to take, like, for example, a Supermax player, something like that. And then they will have to add in average salaries and then minimum salaries. And that's where you get a player like Chloe Bibby that would come into the mix. Now, who knows whether or not the Fever will want to hold on to Chloe Bibby anyway, but they're not going to protect her. And then you've got Sophie. And I think at this point, we believe that it's likely Sophie Cunningham will not be protected. We did not get to see what this truly would have looked like over 44 games. That's a damn shame. Because Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell would have been real fun to watch over 44 games. And because of Caitlin's injury, we didn't get to see what that looks like. The other thing that not a lot of people have brought up is, how about this is the only player to ever physically defend Caitlin Clark on a basketball court? The enforcer. J.C. Sheldon is still thinking twice about some of the shit that she's ever going to pull again. Never know when somebody's going to do a Steven Seagal, a keto flip on your ass like Sophie Cunningham did last year. So this is Grant Young over at SI. So it would be hard for the Fever fans to part ways with Sophie Cunningham. 29-year-old only spent the 2025 season with the Fever and missed a solid chunk of games with injury. She did many things to endear herself to Indiana's loyal fan base, perhaps the two most important being a spark plug and serving as a star guard, Caitlin Clark's enforcer, with earned notoriety from women's basketball community and admiration from Fever fans. Yeah, when the wokes weren't trying to cancel her. By the way, remember the three-point contest? And I made a video last year where I was banging the drum that it should be Sophie Cunningham actually instead of Lexi Hull. You know why I said that? And at the time I brought up the statistics. It was because over basically a 15 or 20 game stretch, Sophie Cunningham was the best three-point shooter on the Indiana Fever. She sure does hustle. She sure is a spark plug. She plays defense. She hits clutch threes. Just throwing that out there. Just a little walk down memory lane. The harsh reality is the WNBA is a business, and as much as everybody wants Cunningham back in Indianapolis, the Fever are between a rock and a hard place. I don't think it's even a matter of whether they're going to protect her for this expansion draft. I think it is more so she will get offered a salary that is going to price her out of being on the Indiana Fever squad. Unless Kelsey Mitchell is not brought back. That is the only way. All right? We got to remember, somebody could offer Lexi Hall a contract. And then a decision's got to be made there, too. Most agree that the fifth option, and we're talking about protecting Clark, Boston, Hall, Mitchell, is between Sophie Cunningham and Michaela Timpson. Well, most believe that Timpson's going to hang around because of the salary. Also of note, the Fever can only core one designation to a veteran this offseason and will most likely certainly use it on Kelsey Mitchell. Therefore, if one of the two expansion teams were to pick Cunningham and thus give her the veteran supermax as per rules, she'll certainly take that because she won't be able to get that much from the Fever or any other team in free agency. Since Cunningham most likely won't be cored by the Fever, she could also leave Indiana in free agency, even if they decide to protect her. This means the Fever would be protecting somebody who essentially they can't control, regardless of whether she's selected by an expansion team. That's a risk Indiana's front office would be wise not to take. So they could protect her, but then they could lose her in free agency anyway. So that's another good reason to not try to protect her. And then we come over here to the Athletic, and that's Chloe Bibby. That's red, as I like to call her. That is red. 6'2", she can shoot 35.5% from three-pointers in 5 college seasons. 40.5% of her triples she hit as a WNBA rookie. Plus, since Bibby is a reserve free agent with the Indiana Fever, her new team would be required to only pay her league minimum, cost control, and premium skill set. So I brought you over here to show you this. She's number 11 on the Athletics expansion big board. Now, in case you're wondering who number 1 is, Arike or Gumbawale, or get thrown out of a club A in Miami A because of Unrivaled. She's number 1 on the board. And yeah, I kid because I literally don't care. Okay. I mean, I ain't worried about Arike at all. Oh, but she scores 18 a game from shooting 49 shots. Once again, calling it like I said. I mean, yeah, from going 7 for 39 from the field. Yeah, pass on that. Expansion teams can take her all day long. I bet the Dallas Wings can't wait to get rid of her. I'm just pointing that out. Yeah. Go enjoy whatever it is you're doing. You and your agenda that you got now. Anyway, you get my point. Tell me what you think. Black and White Sports supporters, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is still unsubscribing people without their knowledge. People are asking me, what is going on with that? I'm having to resubscribe every week. I don't know what to tell you. I believe it's some kind of automated system, maybe using AI that's run amok. Terminator style. Peace, I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.